Hey y'all, it's Deanna with Deanna Talks TV. And before we get into this video, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell. So yeah, this video has been challenging to put out. And I'm like, okay, Lord, I know you want to save some people through this testimony, but I dropped a Instagram clip explaining that I used to be in the sex industry. And I know when you see this face, it's like, what? She used to be in the sex industry? So a lot of you guys may know me from being in the insurance industry. I've had articles and things put out about me, about my success in the insurance industry. I have had multiple six-figure businesses, insurance agencies, and I always give my testimony of how I got to that point of my success, right? But there was always a detail that I would leave out of my testimony. And I'm still kind of nervous sharing, but I know it's time. It's time for me to share it. So for those of you who don't know, the insurance industry changed my life. I started out being a single mom. I had my daughter and her father wasn't around, so I had to support my daughter. And then I met another guy and had my son, and that wasn't what I thought it was going to be. So I had to support my son. And so I kind of fell into being in the insurance industry, right? I started out my career as a claims adjuster with a really large insurance company. And I felt like the Lord told me to go be an insurance agent. And so I left that company, but I just got up and left. And I would never tell anybody to do that. Like, have a contingency plan. Like, if God tell you to do something, like sometimes he'll tell you to just go and don't look back. But when you have kids and stuff like that, you want to use wisdom. So I would never tell somebody to just go up and leave. That's what I did. I just got up and I'm like, God, you telling me to be an insurance agent? I am going to leave. So I left that corporate job, working in insurance, but I was on the claims adjuster side, and I wanted to pursue being an agent and having like time freedom and just being an entrepreneur, but specifically an insurance agent. Well, I had somebody very close to me that was like, they ended up quitting their job and they were making a lot of money. And I'm like, what do you do? And I'm known for asking people like, hey, what do you do? And so this individual told me, she was like, I do phone sex. I am a phone sex agent. And I was like, because I was kind of shocked, like this individual was in that career field, if that's what you want to call it. And she was like, girl, it's easy. Like, you're just talking to men and, you stay on the phone with them and you get paid. Like, that's what I do. And I'm like, I could do that because I'm talking to these guys for free. Now, at this point in my life, because I just abruptly left my job, my corporate job, I was struggling at this point. Because I had to learn how to be an entrepreneur. Like, I didn't really know the ins and outs. I just had an idea of what that looked like. And so I needed to make a living to provide for these kids because, like I said, I didn't get any support from their fathers. And so I actually thought about stripping. Like, I was going to be a stripper. And if you know anything about where I live, which I live in Atlanta, Georgia, the strippers be popping out here. They do. okay? And they be driving the nice cars, they be living a nice life. And like, I hate to say it, but like, you can aspire to be a stripper out in Atlanta because people know that the strippers in Atlanta are popping. But I always knew I had a call on my life. And so I knew God had called me to be used in a bigger capacity. And so I was like, I can't be a stripper because I'm a mom and I don't want nobody to say that they saw me like the most private parts of me. And I also had a strong desire to be a wife. I knew I was going to be a wife, and I was like, I don't want anybody to say that they was like, you could Google my stuff, right? And so I was like, stripping is not for me because I'm going to be a private hell. I'm going to be private. And so the crazy part is I actually auditioned to be a stripper. And yeah, I was like, yeah, I ain't doing this. So, even though they gave me a job, I was gonna be able to work, but I was like, no. So anyway, when the phone sex opportunity came about, I was like, man, I could do this. Like, it's in the privacy of my own home, and you still make good money. And when I say good money, I'm saying you're making like, I mean, I guess it don't matter now, but it was decent money. I don't want to disclose it because this is not a advertisement for going to do phone sex, right? Just know that the money was good. And I had hit a low point in my life where I was getting eviction notices on my door like every month. My car had got repoed. So I was willing to do what I needed to do to take care of my kids. So I got into that industry. The sex industry is, at the time, it was like $1 billion, multi-billion dollar industry. It's probably $1 trillion industry now. And I discovered how very wicked it is. So the individual that introduced me to it, she would get certain phone calls where she was literally talking to guys, and they would just have conversations like boyfriend, girlfriend. I would get some of those calls, but I got like a lot of wicked calls. And what I mean by wicked calls, like, when it comes to, like, nothing is off the table when you are an agent, a phone sex agent. So whatever is the fantasy, from being a ghetto black girl to being a minor, like, nothing is off the table, to like sex with animals. Like, you're painting this fantasy for the individual on the phone. So needless to say, I quickly realized that wasn't for me. And I would like to spare you guys the details, but just know that it's a very evil and wicked industry. And God, I actually prayed. I'm like, God, now I know you told me to be an insurance agent. Well, how did I end up here? Like, sometimes we do our own little detours, and God is like, you moving. Yeah, so like I was saying, sometimes we do our own little detours, and God did not give us all the instructions. So I got myself in a big mess. Well, the insurance industry, it saved my life. God did tell me to be an insurance agent, and he probably had a completely different plan than what I decided to pursue with my free will, right? But it saved my life because I realized if I could talk to people and men in that wicked industry, then I can talk to people and serve them in the best capacity by offering them insurance, which is a product that will benefit them in the event that there is an issue where there is a risk at hand. Like, I'm offering them a promise with a company, and it has nothing to do with my body. The only thing I have to do is offer this product and offer them this promise backed by a company, And I've been able to really use that skill set that I used in the sex industry, if you will, because it was God put the skill set there, first of all. And I decided that I wanted to use it for that crazy stuff, but use that, the original skill set, and use it for good. And God has opened up so many doors. So that's it. Like, I have a bunch of stories about working in that industry. It was very evil. It was very demonic. I have stories upon stories, and I may hop on here again and tell you more details of it. But I will say, I went from being in a wicked, sexually perverse industry, and God took me out of that and put me in a position to be able to use my mouthpiece, to be able to speak life into people, and to be able to offer people a product and a service that I can stand behind through insurance. Even though I did my own thing, God did not change his mind about what he told me to do. And so whoever is in an industry that you want to get out of, God has called you to be something so much more than what you are doing. God has not forgotten about you. And it's not where you start, but it's how you finish. And even on the journey, if you go off the road, like, God can get you back on track. So that is a little brief story about how this phone sex agent went from being a phone sex agent to an insurance agent. I literally said I couldn't do it anymore. And the moment I said I couldn't do it anymore, I was offered a job to work under an agent who mentored me, who was an insurance agent for over 30 plus years. And she poured so much wisdom into me that I have been able to apply to my businesses today. So I'll just put this out there. Like, if you are looking for a career change and maybe you want to give insurance a try, just send me an email. You can email me at deetalkstv@gmail.com. It's DEE Talks, TALKS TV@gmail.com. I've been able to touch multiple six figures in that industry. And it's funny how I got into the sex industry making money, and I really didn't see any fruit in that, obviously, for the obvious reasons. And when I got aligned with my purpose, I've been able to see financial freedom through the insurance industry. So that's it. That's a brief testimony. And yeah, I love you guys. If you're interested, you want information about the insurance industry, hit me up. And if you have questions about it, like, you can send me an email at DTalksTV. All right. Love y'all. Bye.